Welcome back to the Marketer of the Day podcast. We are going to be talking about so many different things Amazon related. We are here with the Amazon rock star, the Amazon marketing pundit, the Amazon addict, the Amazon tycoon. His name is Mac. So Mac, can you tell us what your full name is and what your website is?
You didn't even try my last name, huh? You didn't.
I won't even try.
So the last name is Schlesinger, Mac Schlesinger.
Max Schlesinger. And as far as what you told me right before we started recording, you have an established company called Bestseller Listers, and you've also branched out into keeping Amazon accounts from being shut down. You've also branched out into powwow events. So tell us about yourself. Tell us what the elevator pitch is. Why are you so unique and special? What sorts of problems do you solve?
Interesting. So basically, overall, what I do is I help Amazon sellers in all different types of ways, so it's like from beginners to advanced. So I started with my company, Bestseller Listers, which is focused as a marketing company for Amazon sellers. Meaning to say, when someone brings in their own product, either from China or they're trying to build their brand, they come to us and we create the content, we create the pages, the listing pages, the copy, the keywords, the pictures, the graphics, and all these stuff. And then we set up their store. But we focus on the marketing side. We don't manage the full account. So this is how I started years ago. I think in 2016 or 17. And that's how it started. But the way I got into it is because it's when I remember back in the days, I used to work in B&H Photo. I don't know if you're familiar with the store in Manhattan, the big store in Manhattan. It's like a big photo store. This is where I started, when I started in the whole business world. Working world. So while I was working there, I didn't like the job because I didn't like the job at all. I couldn't stick to one thing and do it every day the same thing, because I kind of get bored when I do this. So I always feel like I need to do something more. I have to do something in the world, to feel that I really do something. So back then, it was the whole start of selling online, eBay, Amazon. So I'm not gonna go into the full details of how I started all the stuff that I did, but the long story short, that I started with just figuring out different things, different options of selling stuff online, and that brought me to building my own brand on Amazon, which is bringing in stuff from China, putting my logo on, my branding on, and selling on Amazon. So from that point, that basically educated me everything about selling on Amazon, and it helped me figure out what my specialty is within selling on Amazon. And I realized that selling products is not really my first round, because it didn't really motivate me when I sell a product, make money. That's not really what I felt like. I really need to provide more to society and to the world. So, and then people outside of me, I used to have coworkers and stuff. So they realized that my specialty is in marketing, which is the content and promoting products and stuff like that. So they asked me for favors to help them. They also had Amazon businesses, so they asked me to do it for them. And that's when I realized that I enjoy much more to help others, to do it for others versus myself. So I kind of kept my products collecting dust. It's still collecting dust in my basement. And I started focusing on helping other people. And then it became a company, Bestseller Listers. And I started offering for the public. I started promoting myself. Promoting the company. So that's where I got popular on LinkedIn. People started following me and seeing my content stuff. So once I got involved within helping Amazon sellers, sellers kind of started asking me, do this, do that. So that brought me to more services, more stuff. And now, long story short, I started another agency, which is Seller Sentry, which is basically, it's a monitoring service that we monitor seller accounts and to help them protect against being suspended. As you know, being suspended on Amazon is a very normal thing these days, and we're trying to avoid that. So we come in, people sign up, we monitor the account, and we take care of issues that cause us to get account suspended. And then, after dealing with more sellers, so people started coming to me that actually, you're anyways involved in Amazon, you're sort of like an influencer. How about, after COVID especially, people were kind of desperate to get back into these events and networking. So people kind of started asking me if I should do an events and stuff. I was like, as I then, I don't know, I'm not the kind of person to do it, but eventually I found another two partners, amazing partners, and we started doing the Amazon Powwow events. Right now it's considered like the number one and number two Amazon event in the world. So we do like events all over, like in New York, New Jersey, Florida. We're planning more events in maybe like on the West Coast. So that's how it goes basically. It's like everything surrounding like helping Amazon sellers and marketing.
And that's an amazing story because there's a lot of like entrepreneurial, just little anecdotes in there, right? Of you were not satisfied with just working a 9-to-5 job, and then you built some of your own kind of ideas. But I think we can relate to kind of being stuck sometimes when you're working on your own projects and making like adding your own SKUs, your own brands. And then sometimes you find some client who's maybe stuck and you're like, well, I can help them get unstuck from where they're at. And they have this kind of this vision, this goal where they want to be at, and we can put our heads together. And it's not just one person sitting there alone, kind of trying to think their own way out of it. Sometimes it's kind of like it's hard to clean your own room, right? It's hard to clean your own house, but you might go over to someone else's house and their room's dirty, and you say, "Oh, I want to tidy this up." It's much easier sometimes to work on someone else's thing. So that's cool how one thing has evolved to the next. And so with Seller Sentry, I found that kind of interesting. So you monitor seller accounts to prevent them from being banned. And like, what needs to be done there? Like, how often do you monitor this? Is this like a human? Is this a bot? And what sort of things need to be monitored?
Yeah, no. So we are specifically not a bot and not a software, because there are many softwares out there that alerts you when there's anything going wrong with your account, but it's just automated. So by us, we took it and we made it like manually. We have like a team of experts sitting and manually every day checking every account to see if there's any new performance notifications or any warning from Amazon that you need to take care of. If you don't take care of it, your account will get suspended. So most sellers, they're busy like running their company and they don't have time to really look into it. And sellers that do it, they're just wasting their time because they can focus on bringing more products, building their brand. Instead, they're focusing on all these issues, which is just wasting their time. So this is what we do instead.
Well, yeah, it's like you can't do everything yourself. You can't clean your own teeth. You can't sell your own house. Sometimes you just have to say, let me get the specialist to do this thing where they worry about that. They do that, all day, every day. And so as far as your team that goes in and monitors these accounts, is there like a number one or like a top 3 reasons why people get their accounts suspended? Is there something that we can easily avoid?
So it's tricky because it's not, because that's the issue. I mean, if it would be like that, then sellers will know, okay, if I do this, then I'll get suspended. But the issue with Amazon is that you never know. You might wake up tomorrow morning and see your account is suspended because you didn't even know that you're doing something. So that's also the benefit of working with us, that we constantly avoid that. But the main issue is, for example, if someone is reselling brand name products, let's say they're selling like Sony products or Samsung or whatever, these products, they might get more complaints or warnings because Amazon is very strict with selling like counterfeit products and stuff like that. So even if you're selling legit products, you might still get reports from customers that think that it's fake or it's not good. So these type of sellers are getting much more notifications and warnings. So that's something. And also when it comes to like private label like sellers, which they have their own brand, their own listings, which counterfeit is not an issue. There's other things like if you respond too late to a customer, or if you ship too late, if you ship your products too late, or if your listing doesn't really represent your product, so customers are complaining. There are many different things that can happen that causes your account to go in.
And it seems to me, because like it's been a few years since I've played around with Seller Central and Amazon and FBA, but it really feels like they want you to almost achieve perfection, right? They want you to be like 99.9% on time, accurate, not making any mistakes. They're just like, you have to work really hard just to keep the privilege of being on Amazon. So it seems like there's a lot of ways that it can go wrong. And my limited experience, I've dealt with some of these counterfeiting issues. I've dealt with, I've had like my own original product, and then someone else had their own counterfeit, and then they tried to report me for counterfeiting. And it's like a whole crazy world, and it's a huge in scale, and it's fast paced. So I'm really curious, with all of the Amazon adventures you've had, with these different brands you work with, different niches, different clients you've had, is there a fun story that stands out to you that you feel like sharing with us about just anything that's been fun and interesting for you in the Amazon world?
Kind of tricky, because the thing is, the way I do things, I always try to make it fun. I don't know if you follow me on LinkedIn or my WhatsApp status. I always post like videos of myself and stuff like that to make it fun, which people think that I'm having fun all day, but I'm actually working hard. You know, it's it's behind the scenes. This is just this, but like an actual fun story about, let's say, a client or something.
Yeah, something like that. Anything.
I can't think of any specific one right now.
Well, has there been like an unexpected problem you've had with a client, or like a situation where you were really stressed out and panicky and you had to come up with some sort of solution?
Maybe you want to post it here. I'm gonna think about it, and we're gonna get back to.
All right, let's see. And you know what, Mac, on Amazon, so many people are afraid of taking action because, as you know, it's possible to get suspended. It's possible to have competitors. It's possible to lose money. There's so many mistakes that could happen on Amazon. So do you see a top number one common mistake, or at least a mistake that you keep seeing that really drives you crazy that we need to avoid? Anything come to mind as far as Amazon mistakes?
Oh, let me think. I mean, there's one general mistake about Amazon sellers in general, which is not like specific, but it's more like generalized, which is a lot of Amazon sellers are going into the market as not thinking that it's a real business, because some people are doing it like on the side. Let's say they do something else and they see people making money on Amazon, decide, oh wow, you know what, let me jump in, let me also try them out. So the problem with Amazon, especially these days in 2021, 2022, is that Amazon became like very, very competitive and very strict. Like Amazon comes up with new rules every day, and every category, every market is like extremely like competitive, like saturated. So if you really want to win, you really have to be in it, fully in it to win it, you know, as I say. So meaning to say, you have to treat it as a real company, as a real business, not just as a side hustle or just flip a product and bring it in and sell it. It used to work well, like back in the days. This is when a lot of people got rich from selling on Amazon just by doing nothing, just finding products, list it, and sell it. So people still have that mindset that this is Amazon, this is selling on Amazon. But the problem is that it's not. And I've seen it almost every day when people come to me, they bring in products, they put in all the effort in this, but they don't treat it as a real business, which is meaning to say that they have to go into the business like, this is the money that I'm going to have to invest in, and this is how long it's going to take to start seeing success or profits. So people think it's like a make quick, you know, how do you call it? Like the
get rich quick.
Exactly right. So it's totally not. And that's something that I feel like we have to educate a lot of sellers to get to know this and realize it. And if you're not ready for this, don't even jump in, you know, don't even try. I mean, it's the same as like you're gonna open now, I don't know, like a restaurant or a pharmacy store. You really have to build it as a real business and focus on it and be competitive, because there are so many competitors out there, and there's so many people out there that are already there for 10 to 15 years, and there's no way you can beat them besides like focusing on it and putting in the money and time and effort and hiring the right companies or help to help you grow the business.
And I think you're so right that even a few years ago, even a few decades ago, it was possible to just jump in and have some fun and make a lot of money just because it was undeveloped, because it was new. And now that it's more crowded, now that it's more competitive, I completely agree with you that we need to take this more seriously and we need to have more of a business. And you know what, Mac, me personally, we're both pretty young guys. When I was super young, when I was in my 20s, I did not take my business seriously. And it's only in these more recent years I've had to learn about having proper accounting and hiring people and delegating and having a long-term plan, and maybe even having a plan to sell the business, whether it's an Amazon business or something else. All these kind of more adult, grown up things that we need to be doing. And as you were explaining that, what came to mind is you could have a group of friends and you could go to a park and you could have a baseball and a bat and you could play around and throw the ball around and you might have some fun. But if you actually played a real baseball game, if you had the base positions, if you followed the rules, if you played a real game, it would be maybe more work and more discipline, but I think it would be more fun. It would be more rewarding just by putting in more of the extra work to do it properly. And that's just what comes to mind when you're talking about that. Like, sure, you could play around and dabble and have a side hustle, but eventually you'll get bored, you'll burn out. Versus you could have a real business, and that could be something that could kind of sustain you. You could retire on that. You could have a whole business career for yourself. So it seems like a pretty easy decision to make. Are you going to not take it seriously, or are you going to take it seriously? And did I hear you right that you said there was kind of two mistakes, like a big one and a little one? Is there like something else that comes to mind as far as like maybe a secondary mistake that people sometimes make with Amazon?
Amazon, I mean, there are a lot of mistakes that can happen that obviously can cause you to lose your account and lose your business. But in general, I mean, it's not only for Amazon sellers, but it's for any business owner, which is thinking that you can do everything yourself, and also thinking that you're gonna save money by doing everything yourself instead of hiring other people to do it, or hiring a service company to do it. I mean, I'm not talking about my companies that you should use my company because I really mean it. I mean, that's part of the reason why I started this company, is to help sellers, not to make money. I mean, obviously, I have to make money to keep it going. But the idea is to, for example, when I started, I did everything, and that's when I realized that my main specialty is in marketing. So I started focusing on that. I'm not doing the numbers. I'm not doing the QuickBooks. I'm not doing the shipping. I'm not doing all this other stuff because I'm not good at it. And I started outsourcing companies to do it, like professionals, or hiring people, and that's where everything started putting in place. You know, sometimes I have my bestseller listers company, the marketing company, people come to me, we give them the price, and they're like, I don't know, should I do it? Should I not do it? I mean, why should I do it myself? Should I do it? I mean, I always tell them, listen, it's up to you. It's your money. It's your decision. But you tell me, I mean, you try to do it yourself, try to see if you're good at it. And if not, then come back to me. And in most cases, sellers that ended up doing it were like, wow, I wish I wouldn't do it back then. I would come straight to you, because marketing is not his thing. Like, I don't know wording, I don't know pictures. He knows how to, one seller specializes in sourcing products, like finding good product. One seller specializes in numbers, like accounting and this kind of stuff. One specializes in managing like the warehouse. So everyone has to know what he's good at and outsource the rest.
I like that a lot. That it's tempting to fool yourself into thinking that you're saving money, but it could just be shooting yourself in the foot and almost guaranteeing a failure in your business. And you know what, Mac, I've had to maybe psych myself up in different ways over the years of saying, well, here I'll budget this money to hire this person, or if I'm concerned about what this will cost, well, maybe I can focus on I'll pay this money, and that'll free up time for me to do this other thing. Or I'll try this out for 3 months. If I'm worried about some kind of like monthly expense, I'll say, I don't have to pay this $500 per month forever. I could just set aside $1,500 and try it out for 3 months. And then after 3 months, say, now I'll decide if that was worthwhile, if I can continue with that or not. And so it's like, it doesn't necessarily just have to be, well, I won't spend any money. It can be, you can have a budget, make a calculated decision, have a goal, try it out, and then make a different decision later on. And it all sounds like just in the lane of being a grown-up, being an adult, being responsible, having a plan, and not winging it. And so since we're speaking about price that you mentioned, around what is the price point for some of these services that you provide?
So price point. So for example, the bestseller list is the marketing services. We have like a flat price per product. So every time you bring in a product, this is what you pay. I mean, we have different packages, like levels, like it starts at, like, let's say $200, $400, $6,000, $8,000. So depending on how advanced you want to go with your listings, but it's usually like a flat price per product, between $200 and $1,200 per product. And then the seller sanctuary is more like a subscription type of model, which is you pay a monthly fee according to how big your account is. And you have peace of mind. I pay the guy money, and he handles all of my issues, and he can sleep easy at night and focus on growing his business.
Okay. And about what's the ballpark as far as if someone wants to get on Amazon and sell a product? How about how much should they have set aside? Because they need to pay you and your team to get the listing set up. They need to buy some inventory. They need to set up the business. Should someone be setting aside $5,000, $10,000? What's like a realistic amount if someone says, I want to take this seriously, I want to have an Amazon business? How much should they set aside just so that they can make this thing last for a few months?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, people still say you will see like gurus say on YouTube or whatever that you can start with $200, start somewhere. But maybe back in the days it was true, but now it's, as I said earlier, it's a real business. You need for each product you need to set at least $10,000. I mean, you can also do it with 5,000 if it's really a cheap product and it's not so competitive. But the average is it's like $10,000 to go all in and with a mindset of taking over this industry, like this market. And I mean, that's the minimum, the bare minimum. I mean, sometimes you might end up needing like a $40,000 to $50,000 in marketing, but especially in inventory if it's expensive product.
And that makes sense with Amazon these days being competitive and with all the things that need to be done. And so what is very interesting is this powwow event that you're mentioning, because as you know, things change so often and you can't go it alone. There's always new information. There's always new problems. And sometimes hanging out with people who are on the same journey as you can be encouraging, and the kind of getting ideas and helping other people out feels good. So can you tell us about these powwow events? And I think I heard you say that they're in different cities. So is this in person? Is this hybrid, like how some things are partially on Zoom these days? What are these events all about? And what's the size and what sort of things are discussed?
Yeah, no. So obviously we are strictly only like in-person events, no Zoom or all this kind of stuff. Like in person, get over here, take a flight, and come have a good time. I mean, obviously the value of the business. So yeah. So we try to do, let's say, around two big events per year. Like one usually in the East Coast in the summer, one in the either West Coast or Florida, like in these warm areas in the winter, and we obviously are growing and growing by after each event. So, for example, the first event we had like 600 people. The next one we had like 1,000 people, and then we're growing to we're planning one in June to have like probably like almost 2,000 people, like sellers. Because we keep on, because the way we do it is it's not like just another traditional corporate style event. You know, we come together, professional, you meet. For us, this is very boring. So we add a lot of more fun to it, a vibe, and we always have like this after parties after the event, and at the actual show, we bring like entertainment and stuff to make it more interesting. So sellers can, besides like learning from all these amazing speakers that we always have, and meeting all these amazing vendors at the trade show, they always get to a chance to get out of the office and loosen up and enjoy good food and entertainment and networking, meet with other like-minded sellers and have a good time, you know?
Yeah, well, amazing. And do you think, is there a secret to all the attention that you have managed to get on yourself? Like you're mentioning 2,000 person events, your LinkedIn has 15,000 followers. Obviously, you're doing something right. A lot of people are listening to what you're saying. Is it a matter of just like being consistent with your content? Do you network a lot? Do you do a lot of paid ads? Like, how do you get as much attention as you do?
That's a very tricky question, because I also always thinking like behind my back, because for people that know me from when I grew up, I was always like a very shy, quiet person. Nobody knew about me. I was like always very like on very low self-confidence. I was very like to myself. Once I started going into this business world, I started feeling like I have to get out there in order for people to recognize me. So I took it up a notch. I don't know what I do. Like I constantly post content and videos of myself, even though it's hard. Like it's not naturally, but it becomes natural because I feel inside of me, I'm a natural like marketer and promoter, but I have to really bring it out. So this is what I do. I'm just trying to be myself and do whatever I do well. So I'm not like trying to, I have to do this, I have to do this. It comes like a natural, you know. This is what I do.
Yeah, you found the right space for yourself, and your business is an expression of you. And I think that we can kind of relate to maybe being stuck in a box, being limited with the shyness, with things like that. And sometimes it just takes being in the right business, or, being the right kind of entrepreneur to really help you break out of your shell.
Right.
Well, great. So you have all these businesses, you have this LinkedIn, you have all these things going on. How do we find you on the internet? What's the next step? If we listen to Mac and said, man, he dropped all kinds of value, knowledge bombs. I want to find him on social media. I want to find his websites. I want to go to his event and so much more. Where can people go? Where should people go?
I mean, I obviously have multiple websites for different companies. Yeah, I think the best one is on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I have my profile. I'm constantly active there. I follow the posts. I follow my private messages. So you can always send me a private message on my LinkedIn, which is Mac, M-A-C, Schlesinger. You can find me there. You see the guy with the orange background and stuff. And then that's one way. And then if you have WhatsApp, I'm also pretty active over there. I have like a separate WhatsApp account for which I use to communicate with Amazon sellers and clients. And I also constantly use my status. WhatsApp has this status feature where you post statuses and it gets viewed by multiple sellers, where I keep on updating sellers about the latest news and updates and information about selling on Amazon.
And if someone searches your name in WhatsApp, will they be able to find you?
No, so WhatsApp, they have to actually save my contact in there. So I can share my number here. I guess you'll also put it in the description. So the number is 845-288-1740. So you just send me a message and I will add you to my contact. So that's how you can see my watch my status and stay up to date.
And can you share that number one more time, just to make sure we get it?
845-288-1740.
Fantastic. And that's on WhatsApp. And then on LinkedIn, Mac Schlesinger. That's MacSchlesinger. It's like
GER.
the singer at the end. I keep saying singer. I think that's what's messing me up. So Mac Schlesinger on LinkedIn, and then that number on WhatsApp. So that way you can get the kind of the news feed of everything Amazon that you need to know, from these networking events, from getting your account monitored, to having your product listed, to so many other cool spin-offs that we didn't even get to, like flipping Amazon businesses. This is a crazy world. It seems like it changes every single day. People are innovating in all kinds of crazy ways. We're living in the future. We have robots and drones and artificial intelligence delivering products. So you need to be on Amazon or you will be left behind. And so listen to Mac. Follow him on social media, get up to date, go to his events, buy his service, listen to what he has to say. You'll be glad you did, because it's really tough to go it alone. It's really lonely, and there's so many ways of making mistakes. Why not go down the path, the trail that's already been blazed for you by pioneers like Mac? And you'll have a lot of fun on Amazon. So as we wrap up our conversation here, Mac, do you have any final parting words of advice? I know it's putting you on the spot. It's a lot to ask, but if someone says, I just need that little bit of encouragement on my Amazon journey from Mac, I want one last thing to hear from him. Does anything come to mind, like a sentence or two to send us on our way?
I mean, you keep on putting me on the spot.
Yeah, so that's what I'm all about.
So basically, I mean, there's one sentence that I try to live by, which is not only Amazon, it's a general in general life and business, which is expect the least and hope for the best. Sometimes when people live with very high expectations, for example, someone goes into Amazon business, okay, I have this major product, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to be a millionaire. It's I can see it, and then all of a sudden they start doing it, and they're like, oh wait, what did I get myself into? Like, what's going on? It doesn't work the way I wanted it to work. So that's why I never have a high expectations about anything, but I still do it. I jump in, I do all my effort, and I hope for the best. And then I never get disappointed if it doesn't work out, or if something doesn't go my way, because I never originally had the expectations.
I love it. Expect the least, hope for the best. Mac Schlesinger, we will see you on social media, see you on LinkedIn and on WhatsApp. And thank you very much for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a lot of fun.